Okay, alright guys, welcome back. On the previous tutorial, we just saw we just made some dummy form and we only displayed the username and password there. Okay, so on this tutorial, what we were gonna do after we already know that this post has been set, because if it is returning false, it means there is something in here. So we have to make sure that whether these variables, the username and the password, contain some data there. Okay, so a PHP have a built-in function which is called empty that we have seen on the previous tutorial. Then we're gonna make sure if this is true, or if the username is empty, or if the password is empty. I'm gonna pass password here, password, sorry. Then it's gonna be true here. If this thing is true, it means the username and the password is empty. So I'm gonna initialize an array that's gonna allow me to store errors. Okay, so the first index for my array is gonna be errors. It's gonna be like, please enter username or user, did I spell it wrong? User name and password. This would be my first index, okay, or my first error. Then else if it pass this area, okay, if the username and the password is not empty, I have to make sure that the username that the user had provided is correct or is valid or not. So I'm gonna make my own function which says exists, okay, the user exists, that will check whether this username is valid or not. So where I'm gonna make this function, I'm gonna make a new file in the core folder in the functions, and I'm gonna make a user.php file here. That's gonna allow me to make functions here. I'm gonna store only functions here, okay, no less, no far. So the function name, I'm gonna copy it from here. I don't want to make a mistake here, so I'm gonna simply I'm gonna simply copy this text here and I'm gonna paste it here, and it's gonna accept a username. Okay, so before I pass any MySQL query here, I have to sanitize this data to protect myself from SQL injection. Okay, so how can I protect myself from here? I'm gonna make a file which is called general.php that's gonna allow me to store general files here. So let me make a function that's gonna allow me to sanitize the data, or that's gonna allow me to protect myself from SQL injection. Okay, sanitize, let me call this thing sanitize. Okay, and I'm gonna pass data here. Okay, then what I'm gonna return is MySQL real escape string, I guess. Yeah, and I'm gonna pass data here. It's gonna sanitize my data here. It's gonna help me to protect myself from SQL injection. Okay, so I'm gonna make a username, and I'm gonna sanitize the username by calling this function here. And I'm gonna copy this thing and I'm gonna paste, and I'm gonna pass the username here, so that I'm ready to make my query. So let me make some simple variable which says query. What I will do, I'm gonna select the user ID from the users table, or I'm gonna count. Okay, I'm gonna count the user ID from the users table. Okay, where the username is equals to the username. Okay, sweet. Then I'm gonna make a MySQL query. This is a built-in function in a PHP. Then I'm just gonna copy this whole thing here, and I'm gonna paste this thing out. I have to cut it actually, so just it will be clear for you guys. Then yeah, this is my query. Okay, so what did I want to return? If the user exists, I want to return true. If the user doesn't exist, or if I didn't get any user ID, I don't want to return true, rather I'm going to return false. Okay, so I'm going to use another built-in function which is called MySQL results. Okay, sorry, I got a text here. MySQL result. Okay, the MySQL result is gonna take that query with 0. Okay, if this thing equals to 1, okay, it means the user exists. There is one field which is already found. So I'm gonna make a question mark here, and I'm gonna return true if this piece of code satisfies this thing. Okay, else I want to return false. Okay, then this will be my return statement. So everything is set. Okay, so this piece of code will allow me whether the username exists or not. So if this thing is false, okay, if this function here returns false, it means the username doesn't exist. Okay, so I'm gonna make errors here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna append another error. Username is invalid. Okay, so sweet. So yeah, we came across all these things. So let's come and check our program here. Then I'm gonna press login here. For instance, let me enter some DEM data here. Actually, I got an error. Call to undefined function user exists in login.php. Oh yeah, the reason why, because I didn't include that files there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write functions here, user.php. Then again, I'm gonna copy this thing. Then I'm gonna paste and come to general.php. General.php. Yeah, I guess now everything is set. Resend. Okay, let me type something here. Yeah, I was so damn. Okay, the reason is I didn't make the program to print the error. Okay, so I was searching for an error, but nothing was displaying. So I'm gonna use a print array, a print R, and I'm gonna check it out so that it will work now, I guess. Okay, so let me type something here. Yeah, it says username is invalid. Okay, so let me type a real username, for instance. I guess it can say it there. Okay, there is no errors here. For instance, think of like I didn't type anything. If I came here and login, yeah, please enter your username and password is my error. If I type some invalid thing, it's gonna say your username is valid. So on the next tutorial, what we are going to do, we're gonna extend things a little bit more, and we're gonna see more functions. Till we see on the next tutorial, keep on watching, keep on subscribing. Peace and love. Ciao.